Alright guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we got this Toyota Camry. If you have a Toyota Camry, it doesn't matter what year, all the way up to 2021 4-cylinder. This is a VTI 4-cylinder, and the engine size here is I can't figure out the engine size, 2.5. Anyways, this cover has grommet 1, 2, 3, so they go into this 1, 2, and this one didn't want to come out, it's jammed. But anyway, this comes off, and it's very simple to determine if you have a misfire on Camry. If it shakes, if your check engine light is flashing heavy, that all that means is the engine is misfiring. So here's the belt on this side. So if you have a P0301 code, that's your cylinder 1 misfire. That's what this ignition coil right here. P0302 would be the second cylinder, which one is right here. P0303 is cylinder 4. P0304 is the cylinder 4. So they're in order, long as the belt is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how simple it is to figure out which cylinder is misfiring on this particular vehicle. And it's very simple to figure out if you have a, let's say you have a cylinder number 2 misfire, that you have a P0302. And what would you do is, a lot of times what I do is I take this ignition coil and I disconnect it just by pushing this, and you disconnect it. If the engine is shaking and it does not make any difference, it's shaking, it's bad. If, let's say for instance, it is not the cylinder 2 misfire, as soon as you disconnect it, the engine is shaking, and then you disconnect it, it will shake more. That would determine you have a bad ignition coil. What I would do in that case is, I usually would take this ignition coil and swap it with, let's say we disconnect this one right here. You pull one of these off. So we got 2 ignition coils, connectors loose right now. So what I would do here is, these are 10mm bolts. So to take out a coil, that's all you need. Take off one of these bolts. What I would do is take this ignition coil and this ignition coil, swap it. Okay, this is called a swap test. You pretty much swap the coils, and at this point I'm not even gonna connect it yet. So let's say originally we had shaken this one, and now if I disconnect this ignition coil with the engine running, obviously, be careful you don't hurt yourself, make sure you don't have chains that's gonna grab or something here. So now if I would disconnect this while the engine is running, and if the engine is originally was shaking, and as soon as I take this one off and the engine starts to shake more, that determined the coil here was good. And let's say if I disconnect this one now, since this was the original coil that was here, that was, we know was bad, we know the cylinder was shaking here, so I'm just losing that up. So with this connected, your engine is running, it's shaking, and if I disconnect this one here now, it makes a difference on a cylinder number 3 here. It's from shake, it goes severe shake. That's just indicating that this ignition coil, you just had confirmed that this ignition coil is bad. So what you would do is buy a new ignition coil, and I would recommend, if you haven't changed your spark plugs, let's swap these back. If you have not done your spark plugs, I would take off all 4 coils, buy a new coil of this cylinder right here, put an X on it, that way you know this is the bad ignition coil, and replace spark plugs. I do have tune-up videos on this vehicle, especially this one right here, and that's how simple it is. And then you take your number 10, make sure your ignition coil clicks in, you put a new ignition coil. This was just for more video here, so I'm not pretty much changing anything here. So tighten this, tighten this. These are only like 6 foot-pounds, and the spark plugs are like almost like 16 foot-pound. But do send me a message if you do need a correct spec. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. If you guys have a misfire in this Toyota Camry, it's gonna be very easy for you to fix the problem. All you need to do is take a moment and figure out which coil is bad. Do the tune-up if you need to, if you haven't done it. And if that doesn't resolve your issues, it could be bad injectors, it could be a bad cylinder, loss of compression, bad spark plug. So there's a lot of things, but this is the basic here. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you need help with anything else, don't hesitate to send me a message.